PrazimProductions. All right, so intro is. Should I look at the camera? Think I should be like, "What up, fam?"
Wow.
Or should it? Or should it be like off to the side, like, "What up, fam?" over there? I don't know. What do you think is better?
I don't know.
What up, fam? What up, fam? This is C-Aye Purcell, and welcome to the Gumbolaya Podcast, a verbal goulash of love between moments that matter. In studio with me, again, the lovely Tsunami in all of her beautiful glory. How you doing today?
I am absolutely mediocre.
This you said celebratory day. Today, we're actually going to talk about something really cool that I just learned about that Tsunami does. The women's group.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that last episode. I want to know about it.
Okay, so I created a women's group. I think I started this whole idea of even having a women's group when I was in my 20s. I just felt the need to have female support and some kind of a positive space where women can come, talk about some issues that they have, but not too crazily. Like, don't lament for the whole time, but talk about something that's going on, and everybody help them to find solutions, a place where you feel like you're supported, where you're loved. We have snacks. We pick topics. I created this. Yeah, you have to have snacks.
Gotta have the snacks.
I always create a beautiful snack spread.
If you do say so
I
yourself.
have chocolate. Girls love chocolate.
So are men allowed to this women's
this
group?
Is a women's only group.
What about men who identify?
No, I don't know any at this particular time. I mean, I do, but the thing is I respect all genders, whatever.
As do I.
I do. I have friends that are all genders. And identify as all different things. However, I feel like scientifically, since I'm a science teacher, hormones do affect your emotions.
Fair enough.
And unless they're on hormones currently at this moment and transitioning to a woman, then I would say no.
So you're saying if a bruh took some hormones and then...
See, that's too much.
I'm just saying, how can a brother infiltrate the women's group?
I think I want to create a men's group and then have like a mixer one day. But for now, I feel like women, we're at a place in time and in the world that women need to uplift each other and not be so catty, backstabby, and fighting on video fights,
and in rap songs.
Yeah, Amen. And that's okay because sometimes you need to fight. I'm not.
Sometimes you need to fight.
Listen, okay.
That's got to be the clip of the episode. Sometimes you got to fight.
Sometimes you got to fight. People have put so much emphasis on perfection and you're in the status and you're a positive person because I'm a spiritualist and I believe in being positive and, looking at things in a different perspective. However, I'm human. Yeah. And people will get under your skin at times. And anger is a positive emotion when you don't overreact. If you take anger and you're not like fighting people with it, I mean, if you do, you do. But, if you take that anger, you recognize it and you can learn from it.
Use it constructively and whatnot.
Yeah, you can learn from it if you're still alive, God willing. Hopefully you don't do anything that bad. But sometimes, you just get pushed to the limit and, people fought for their rights. People fought to protect themselves from, I know it's not the same. It's not the same.
That's true.
It's not the same, but people use anger and fighting to prove their point. Hers is on a lesser level.
It can be a very positive motivator.
I know hers is petty, but it's not. It's a
wait.
What
did you say?
I said I know hers might be a little petty. But
hers?
Hers. I'm talking about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
I did see this. I read about this and I saw about this. I don't know a lot of details. Like I was telling you before, I really try to avoid learning about stuff through tabloids because you don't know how much of it is just hype.
Hers was just I saw something on Cardi B's. You got the facts. I think so, based on what I saw on Cardi B's post and based on Nicki Minaj's response to her on Queen Radio. Okay, so this is straight
from the two,
This is from these two individually. Now, people have their opinions. I have my opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion. Now, I think Onika she started off as a very hungry, driven woman. And I think that over the years, she's gotten so much success and so much fame that she's kind of gotten a little full of herself and forgot that she kind of might need to bring it down a notch, because her argument seems like she's mad because of Cardi B, how she made it, and people feel sorry for her, and she needs to pay respects, and she's the queen. But I recall when Nicki Minaj first came out, she wasn't paying respects to Lil' Kim. She was. That
was a whole thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that she wasn't paying respects.
Yeah.
Because she probably did, maybe in some weird way. But from what is brought out in public, is she was very disrespectful. They had a lot of fights. She's disrespected Remy Ma. She's disrespected. She has a lot of issues with a lot of people.
I remember there was beef. I didn't know it was disrespect, because
she called her a monkey, and then she tried to bring this up recently.
She didn't call her no monkey.
She called her a monkey in her song "Stupid Hoe." Stupid hoe. She basically compared her to Michael Jackson's monkey. You can look it up.
No, I believe you. I was just a little shocked, because I hear about the beef. I hear about the battles. I hear about stuff like that. And I listen to what I can, get my hands on, or, I'm chilling with a friend. They got the album, whatever. I don't delve into that type of stuff
intense.
because it feels like a waste of life. Like just be putting effort into putting someone else down. I respect people that more so just say, this is what I'm trying to do. Right. I'm on my hustle. I'm coming up. I'm good at this. This is what I care about. Right. Not stop paying attention to somebody else. They are whack or whatever. Right. I just, I don't.
Now, I noticed Cardi has been taking a lot of punches throughout the time that she's been out in this short frame. Time, she seems like she's been getting low-key dissed a lot. By Nicki and her people and people that are Nicki fans. And she seems like she was quiet, but now she's birthed her baby, and she's probably super hormonal, and she caught wind of something. Yeah. Hormones are super important. Postpartum depression, that'll affect the way you react to things, because I know when I'm PMSing, I don't know if anybody out there has been around a PMSing woman, but I do know that when it's around that time, it can be intense. And then the day that I get my period, I'm like, oh, I love you. But prior to that, I'm like the raging crazy woman. Yeah. So if somebody says something to me, I'm just super defensive, or I'm just emotional, because the hormones, the estrogen levels are high. So if you have a baby, your estrogen levels are high. She's only a few months old. Give her some slack. She's from the hood. She's already ratchet. She's been known to fight. Yeah. And that is who she is, and she's about that life. And somebody tested her. Nicki didn't say anything, from what I know, verbally. She was liking comments that were negative about Cardi B on Twitter. Oh. So that's what she saw.
That was the beginning?
That's what made her mad, was somebody posted something about Cardi as a mother and how she's, I don't know the exact words, I'm not going to try to quote it, but it was something negative, and Nicki Minaj liked it. And she saw it, and she responded. Now, I don't know what happened in the hallway at the award show. I just know shoes were flying, and Cardi got hit in her head by a security, and it was pretty intense. And
is she okay?
She seems like she's fine. She's been pretty quiet since then. But, she's also posting about how she just got a Tom Ford deal. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if money will make me... If somebody talked about my child or was... Did
that happen? Somebody talking about her kid or something? Oh, that was the comment. It was the
comment. It wasn't like she verbally said anything. So
who made the comment? Was it just a fan or something?
A fan that's a Nicki fan. Was like, what kind of mother are you to do these things, blah, 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 calling her names. And then Nicki liked that. Yeah. That is some slick dissing. Yeah. That's slick dissing. You're trying to be slick because you don't want people to know that you're a mean person. So you want to go behind and be like, oh, let me like that comment. Word. This is why I need the women's group. Okay. Because we need to talk about this kind of stuff as women. This is petty. Yeah. And I'm petty for even involving myself, but I'm petty. So
well, it's a good thing though, because I don't know this stuff. Yeah. I see the part that gets publicized. Yeah, of course. I don't be knowing. Right. I don't really know what the deal is, and I have interest and love of their artistry. Right. Like, do you know? I do, but not to the point where I have their lyrics. I've always been bad with lyrics in the first place. I'm an audio musical note harmony lover. Lyrics, I hear them when when somebody's spitting, but it doesn't really stick with me. Right. Even like songs that I absolutely love, I could start maybe half a verse and my mom, I don't know. But so I know a lot of this stuff happens because I see people talking. Anytime something happens, social media goes nuts and the memes start going. Right. So you can tell.
Oh, there's so many funny memes.
Something happened.
Something definitely happened. They have video footage of her of Cardi lunging at Nicki while she's standing in the corner kind of talking her crap.
And these are like queens of the industry. Like they're like running the game and they got to be fighting.
You know what?
Why we got to be fighting?
Well, queens in history fought. And so did kings.
True.
And it was to prove their... If we look at history, I mean, it was always proving that. It's always proving
Get off my
I'm
lawn.
the queen.
Yeah.
I'm the queen. I'm the king. I'm
Fair
the
enough.
best. You know what I mean? So it kind of... I think we lose sight because it's black women.
Yeah.
And it's in a smaller setting. But
That's
if we look at the world, I mean, we're always fighting for control.
That's true.
Everybody wants to be the best.
Like you said,
And
sometimes you got to fight.
Sometimes you got to...
That's a hard pill. I don't know if I can be...
accept that.
Yeah, that's tough. You got to fight.
You know, you don't have to fight, but maybe, some people are more creative
But
in how they
sometimes
fight.
it gets there. Like
Sometimes it gets there, like, people talking about kids and people talking about certain subjects. It just, it also means that somebody has a certain power and control over you that you need to sit with yourself and say, I really need to think, why is this making me so angry?
Right.
In my group, one of the topics, because usually I get a jar and we put all the ideas in it for topics, and we randomly pick one.
That's a good idea, so that people will feel comfortable being vulnerable, because everybody don't know whose business
exactly.
is.
So we're just picking random topics, and a lot of the same topics.
So you just pick it out and read it, and
I'll read the topic, and we'll discuss ways to help with that particular question or situation. And a lot of people had issues with friends, frenemies, and situations like the Nicki Minaj situation. And I feel like women are very catty.
Some women.
Women can be very catty. And
you think that's it's never in all women. Would you say most women?
I don't know. I would say a lot. I'm not going to put numbers into it. I'll just say that in my experience, in my life, I've known a lot of women to be catty. A lot of beautiful, smart, amazing women. But women are very petty when they're in certain moods, if they feel attacked. And I've noticed, I've had some issues with certain friends in my life. And instead of talking crap about them, because I have in the past, like, out of anger, I decided I'm going to start this group and we're going to be open and talk about the issues that we have with each other to resolve it and come up with a positive way, instead of just being like, oh, she said this, and oh, did you go to her house, and oh, she did this. A lot of comments that have been made to me recently with some of these ladies have been little snide, sly comments like, "Oh, how'd you get a man so fine?" And just
wait, this is currently?
This is currently. And I was just like, I'm going to end up knocking somebody out.
Right.
This is why the fighting has to start.
What kind of question is that? How'd you get an attractive?
She's like, how'd you get such a good-looking man? I'm like, I freaking put a spell on him. What do you think I did? I was like,
I put some poison in the stew.
It's obviously the coochie.
And only I have the antidote.
Yeah. I've heard some interesting comments.
You had a friend, but does that make is this person actually a friend? Because I feel like that's a really crummy thing to say to a friend.
She seems to be very loving, but I feel like a lot of these girls, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Women will stay close to somebody because they want to kind of have some weird power over them, or kind of push them in the right or wrong direction. Women are jealous. Not all, but these women that I'm speaking of.
Yeah.
Not in my group all, but just sometimes.
Yeah.
Women can be jealous, and instead of looking in themselves and saying, you know what, I have a problem. I need to look at myself and figure out why I'm mad. They won't. They'll push it out on the other person and find things to tear them down, make the other friends be like, oh, did you see her hair? She didn't even do it right. Or, instead of being like, girl, don't do your hair like that. You know what I mean? Don't ever do it. You guys can tell me. It's fine. I don't care. But, those types of situations happen so often. And I noticed myself getting upset with the situation that I told you. And I was venting to my sister.
Yeah.
And I realized I wasn't really helping.
Yeah.
It wasn't helping me. So instead of doing that, I want to have a circle of friends, talk about these issues, talk about positive ways to resolve them, come up with healthy solutions so that it's not a victimized situation like, oh, this is happening to me.
Yeah.
I want to find something that's positive. So long story short, that's what the group is all about. There's also a retreat coming.
Do tell.
Yeah. Another girl that I invited into the group, Tahara, Renee Christie. She's a close friend of ours. She's my twinsy.
If you met Tahara's
amazing.
You've met the universe.
She's the unicorn.
She is. Love to Tahara. She is quite the character.
Amazing. So she reached out.
We got to have her on.
We got to have her on. We need to have a party. That's what's going to happen.
I was going to say, I feel like if we have Tahara on though, we just need to
give her the mic.
Her own mic and just let her go.
Oh my God, we should have a mic and we should video chat her at the same time as we do our show. I'm totally, I don't know. She's amazing. So she's also a part of, I invited her to the group.
Yeah.
And she's doing a retreat for women. I created a name and she actually had a similar name. weird.
Okay.
But
so have y'all collabed on this retreat?
We're collabing on this
okay.
retreat, and I will be doing some sort of healing stuff there. And she's going to be doing life coaching, and there's another person that does some therapy and some meditation stuff. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be this end of September for 3 days for women of color specifically, like a safe space, and it's empowering women of color. Which is funny because my group's name was Empowering Women of Color, and I changed it to Empowering Women of Consciousness because I did not want to exclude my lovely white friends that really need help too.
I have much respect. I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah.
I have much respect for that.
Yeah, I had
However,
to change it.
I do have to, kind of tip my hat to people that reserve certain things for family, so to speak.
Of course.
I have so many people that are not on the darker shade spectrum of ethnicity. Oh, they're still my family, and I still love them. So, but I guess what I mean is I've just learned the importance for both. I guess.
Of course, there is definitely the need for both. For my group specifically, I have friends that don't consider themselves, they might consider themselves white, but they're Jewish. But that's still a very, they've been through a lot of things and have a lot of oppression. And I feel like I relate to a lot of them. Plus my great grandma's Jewish. I feel like I would never exclude my friends that are, I just feel like you're colored. Like, even though that's the wrong word. But I'm like,
we can't say that no more.
But also my boyfriend's mom is Italian. She doesn't consider herself white.
Okay.
So if she probably does look white, but she's like, no, my name is Rose Caruso, and we're this and that, and and she has all black kids. She's of course, but her experience in life
follow what you mean, but
So I was just like, for the group, because it's online and in person. The people in person, I mean, everybody is of color, but some of the people online I've added to the group for women's support. But the Women of Color retreat specifically, I love it. It's going to have all sorts of amazing, wonderful things to heal our Black women. And we do need something specifically because we have a totally different experience than most. So, shout out to Shaharash for being so amazing and making this.
So this is towards the end of September?
Yeah, September 28th.
Is it an open,
Yeah, it's online.
People are able to...
Women are able to.
What's up with the love for the dudes?
There's a lot of love for men, but men...
What about single dudes that want to come and be a part of the womanness?
No, they need to... You know what I feel? Men need to create their own Black men retreat group.
I'm sure there's
nothing like... I've never seen it. There's nothing like it.
I can't think of one.
I can't think of one. You know why? I don't know why. I'm not going to say anything.
Yes, you were. What were you going to say?
Something so totally inappropriate.
I can't think of it. I'm sure there's brothers doing something somewhere. I'm sure.
But I guess guys don't want to be in a whole lonesome retreat with other men. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they do.
Well, in my experience, most men do not have a lot of time where someone has been encouraging them to be vulnerable and to face emotions, to express feelings or whatnot. It's obviously it depends on the family you're from and the environment you're from, whatever. History. But just in general, brothers aren't really encouraged to do that type of stuff.
Yeah, because they feel like it's against the whole ideology of what a man is supposed to be. I feel like I'm going to create something for that. And I feel like it's going to be called like Breaking Down Walls, because I feel like Black men have, they have to live up to this standard. And they're not really allowed to be vulnerable. So where does this emotion go?
Yeah,
I encourage my son to express himself. Now, if he does too much
expressing? But what's too much?
Like just whining for no reason. For things that he can fix. Like not finding a resolution. For me, it's an issue when you have all these solutions around you, but you're like, oh, I can't do it. That, I don't tolerate that.
Fair enough.
I'm like, go to the park, play basketball. Then we're going to have a conversation when
you
get back.
Go work off some steam.
Get off the steam because he needs to get it off his chest. And or clean I make him clean his room and do all his chores when he's stressed out, because that physical activity for males, this is scientifically proven, it helps him to calm down and to focus and to have help with emotional stress.
Hearing it, I would think it would have the exact, I would be like, Mom, I need to talk to you about some stuff. Go clean your room.
No. Talk about it and then let them do something physical.
Oh, this is afterwards.
Yeah, you can do it
afterwards. I thought you meant he's like, Mom, I really like to talk to you about some feelings. Go clean your room.
No, on the way home from school is usually when we talk a little. Like on the way home, and we have a pretty long drive, so my son will tell me how his day was or how his experience with his dad, and him and his dad have this interesting relationship, and he's kind of like, becoming his own person. So there's this interesting dynamic, and I try to just be supportive and neutral. But if he's emotional or upset about incidents, I let him talk about it, express it, when he gets home. Instead of him moping around or playing video games, I'm like, all right, babe, I'm going to make you a snack. And then we're going to go to the park, get that basketball. He usually comes back renewed, refreshed, and easy. And he can talk about things without being so deep in the emotion that he can't think about what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Usually he comes back, he's like, yeah, you're right. And, it'll come out way easier. When my boyfriend is irritated or can't, he doesn't want to talk about things, because most of the time in my experience with straight heterosexual males, when they have an emotional issue and they're confronted with it, they shut down. And that's what I've noticed across the board.
Yeah.
Even
it goes back to what I was saying before, and I've just started to learn this within the last 5 or so years, and it's like something that I could see but I couldn't articulate because I had never really involved myself in study on these types of things. But I met a sociology professor, and I listened to a lot of his lectures, and I took a class in sociology, for example. Yeah, and one of the things that they talked about was incredibly fascinating to me was the differences in the way we encourage young boys and young girls to play.
Yes.
And I think there's a particular study that's kind of credited for the beginning of this philosophy and perspective, but he was just, enlightening us to some things that I never thought about, how, boys are encouraged to play a certain way and females are encouraged to play certain ways. And in general, boys are encouraged to do things in a hierarchy status. The rules are very stagnant. Everything's about, accomplishing whatever the task might be, or emerging superior within the group or whatever. And contrarily, females were encouraged to play cooperatively. And there was no established hierarchy, and the rules are very interchangeable, and everything is kind of, everything is based off of how you feel about what you're playing. And it was very interesting to me to look, because I'm a grown man learning this stuff, and I'm like, I never thought about anything like that.
You have to share or whatever. And they're like, oh, you didn't win for the boys. It's so interesting.
And so when then you ask a dude to do something that has never really been nurtured until that moment, it's tough. Most of my female friends, when they talk to me about relationship issues, that's one of the main things that comes up, is that he just won't talk to me. I'm a married man, consider myself to be healthy, and there's just been times where my wife would be like, I just don't understand why you shut down.
Yeah, and that's pretty much most men. I told my boyfriend, if you don't go to counseling, then
you got to do something.
No, but he does. He's been going, and it's helping us so much. There's communication classes. There's games you can play.
Do y'all go together or separately?
We go separate and together, because he needs to deal. We both came into the situation with our baggage.
As does everyone.
And so he has things that he has to deal with. I have things that I have to deal with because I'm pretty sexist. So I have to
I've never seen you like that.
Totally kidding.
Oh, I thought you were serious. I was like, I don't see you as sexist at all.
I'm totally joking.
Okay.
But I have things, so we both have these different things, so we deal with on our own, and then we do come together and we're doing the counseling. But I still am looking forward to the marital counselor that you told me about.
Yeah.
But it is important for men to have a group or a therapist or a church person or a spiritual healer or whatever way you want to go, for men to talk to. And I feel like it's important for a man to have a man to talk to. Weird as it sounds, but
that doesn't sound weird at all.
Makes a difference.
Men respond differently to other men.
Because I talk to
men respond differently to older men as well.
They need that. Like in other cultures, in Africa and Native American, indigenous people, they have the elders, and then they have like the line down, and people would respect them. There's a lack of that here in America.
We don't afford. It's interesting. You and I think alike on so many things. That's been something that's been very fascinating to me lately, as I'm just kind of learning more about like anthropology and things like that, is seeing the differences in our culture now as we've begun to isolate more and more and more, and with the development of the internet and social media and stuff like that, we're just even more isolated, even more separated, even more narcissistic. And the result is that we don't stay connected.
Not at all.
To community anymore.
Everything is,
so traditionally, it's indigenous cultures, you had elders, grandparents, neighbors. You grew up with these people that knew you.
That group.
They could call you on your BS. They could teach you better ways to do stuff when they see you falling on your face.
Boom.
Now
it's just like you're freestyling it. Figure it out
trying
for
to figure everything out.
Go
and
on
also
the internet,
trying
copy a
to
celebrity.
Yeah. Also trying to make yourself seem like you got it all figured out
What is this?
while you're trying to figure it out.
I'm unbothered.
Right.
This new thing. Like,
I don't get it.
I can't do it.
And so unfortunately that ends up in a lot of people just spinning their tires and wasting a lot of life trying to figure stuff out because there's no elder to be like, yo,
that's right.
Let me break this down to you. What's going on is
people need mentors.
this.
People need elders.
Yeah.
They need groups. That's why the women's group for me was important. I feel like men need something, and a lot of people are they have absent fathers.
Yeah.
So they're basically reliant, and all they see is women. You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like men really need some support too, especially in the Black community.
Yeah.
I feel like the Black community is lacking that male positive role model. That's why it was so awesome when Obama was elected. Because it was like you could look up to somebody. You know what I mean? It was one person, even though that wasn't like the answer.
I hear people say that, and I get torn because I completely agree and I completely disagree. Like I get where that's coming from because so many of our brothers and elders are either in prison or ostracized or otherwise absent for whatever reason. Yeah. But I also am in the community, so I see so many positive examples.
And I would love to hear about those. I don't get to hear about those or see them very often.
Well, I am a church dude. Yeah. So my life in church has provided me with a lot of those examples. Now, obviously, it's okay with the ice.
My bad.
Ice break. It's okay. Refreshment break. Sorry. My involvement in church communities is a lot of where I see the contrary reality, where you do see a lot of positive brothers actually trying to be present. And what one guy comes to mind, he's a minister at a church where I was a music director. We used to go to this church and there is an associated boys home, like a boys shelter. Yeah. And he started it from my understanding, he started it from the ground up. And so at-risk young brothers, they come to this place. And so he's an example, and a lot of pastors are good examples, a lot of fathers, deacons, stuff like that. However, I also see the opposite.
They're not even in church. You know? And for me, I'm the
churches are predominantly female.
Church.
Yeah,
it's predominantly
for a single guy.
That's amazing. Black guys go to church. No,
that's where I found my wife.
See, so smart. But for the average person that's not in church. Yeah. And just in the community and how things are, it's difficult.
I do follow what you mean, though.
I watch it with just watching the peers in school. And
you think that's different outside of the Black community, though? Because I don't really live outside of the Black community, so I don't know. Like,
I mean, I'll speak.
Is there a shortage of brothers in the Latin American community? Shortage of white dudes, and I don't know. Well, what? So. You know what?
I know my best friend. One of my best friends. I mean, a lot of my friends are Latino. Yeah. And one of my best friends is Mexican and Nicaraguan, and his family is amazing. I love them. They are very close knit. He takes care of his mom. His dad's there. They have been through a lot, but they stick it through, and they're very well connected and very involved in everything.
Yeah. Latin Americans roll deep.
Deep.
Their whole family live up the street. And
everybody lives close to each other. They all have parties. They all get together. I think that's beautiful. My mom and my family is like that, being Caribbean, but I live here and they live there. But they do fly out often, and I try. But my other side of the family it's just wow. Yeah. A lot of the males are not doing that great. I have a cousin. He's amazing, and he has like 10 degrees, but I don't know. He's also gay, and I think that really has something to do with it. That's so funny, but it's
with
true.
The degrees?
Yes.
Wait, studied himself in the gay?
He's amazing. No, he's always been.
Mean?
He's always been since he was little.
Well, you said the degrees.
No, he just has a bunch of degrees. He's a doctorate. He's so intelligent. I don't know.
I know the educated way to be gay. No, but maybe
the feminine side of his brain has taken over how he ended up living his life, because he's more involved. He talks to his mom. He talks to his dad. He's very open about learning new things, whereas all the rest of the people that I've seen are just stubborn and just kind of stuck in their way. I don't know. I was just a theory. I could be totally wrong.
So now we're equating stubbornness with, you know what? We're going to end on that note, so her, because sometimes you got to fight. So we finna get into it. I'm just playing.
Oh my God.
We actually do need to cut, though. That's our time. We're going to, can you stick around? Can we do another segment, a part 2? You stick around for a bit?
I might have to go.
After the fight? We'll see what happens after our fight. We'll see what happens. We'll Band-Aid it up. Yes. Thank you for joining us. This is C-Aye Purcell, Tselane for the Gumbolaya Podcast. Love y'all. Peace.
If it's my time, then it's my time.
'Cause I got mine. Check. 1, 2. Big check for your mic.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Is that your impression?
I tried.
1, 2.
I don't have a deep enough voice. 1, 2.
If it's my time, then it's my time. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. Worry about yours, 'cause I got mine. 'Cause I got mine. PrazimProductions.